Right, Spreadtown TV, please watch, like, subscribe. We're joined by the gaffer, Mike Thompson, after a good 1-1 draw on the road, last minute equaliser, sorry. What are your thoughts on that?
Mate, a point on the road anywhere in this league is really, really important. So, yeah, we're really happy. You know, the conditions were difficult, the pitch was heavy, but it's been a game that's, you know, two great teams, in my opinion, that's contested a really good game of football. That I think we, barring the first 5 minutes where we've conceded a sloppy goal, we've really dominated the ball well. You know, and I'm over the moon in respect of we've tinkered a little bit with the shape. We don't want to do that too often because you get boys that can use excuses for not understanding what, you know, how we're setting them up. But we worked on it through the week, worked on it in a real lot on Tuesday, and it's come to fruition today. I think if you ask anybody who's watched us for the past 3 or 4 weeks, we haven't had enough men high of the ball to cause problems in an opposition box, and today we've done that. You know, when anything's broken down in midfield, we've had 3 and 4 boys that are higher of the ball or progressing with the ball, and that was great to see. And regardless of when the goal went in, mate, I think we were really good value for it against a team that's won 5 on the bounce. You know, so it's fantastic for us, and we'll take a point on the road every day of the week.
Yeah. Just on that shape, obviously in the midfield we had Dixon, Stokes, and Griffin.
Yeah.
I think Norfolk had a bit of an injury, so is that the reasoning for that?
Yeah, he's not been well, Andy. He's been ill, off work all week, so he trained on Tuesday and he's been off work for a couple of days, so it just wasn't worth a risk. We've played Noah a little bit deeper, but then had a 4-man midfield just behind Jake Martindale, and that kid's worked his absolute nads off. You know, I think he's not got his rewards the last few weeks because he's been isolated. So that was one of our major plans, really, to make sure we had players around him. And the way Matty Broadley's played, the way Ali's played. You know, Joey Norts has been away for a long time injured, and we knew we'd get 15 minutes out of him, and he's come on and he's affected the game and scored his goal. You know, so I'm over the moon for him because you know, Jake's come off the pitch and we've told him yet again, everything you do, you know, regardless of not scoring, you've left everything out there. And when we've got players around him, we look at so much more of a better team. So we're not sitting back no more, and I think that was easy to see today, that we affected the game in the final third, and we'll play anything like that at home, you know, as we continue to progress, and the teams that we play in the coming 3 and 4 weeks, we shouldn't have any problems, really.
That's just on Joe. I know you mentioned in your last interview we're perhaps lacking that natural goal scorer. Do you think having him back, he could be the answer to that?
It's massive, mate. I've always said, like, you know, regardless of level, you know, the goals don't move, and Joe's quality doesn't change, you know, and Joe's been below his level for some time now. You know, so to get his goal is really important. I think he could have had one at Cleethorpes before he got injured, and then he's missed 4 or 5 games through injury. So for his first one to come back, knowing that we could only get sort of 10, 15 minutes, 20 tops out of him, to come onto the pitch and score a goal, it'll be massive for him. But he's a big, horrible, difficult number 9, and it's what we need. But with that, he's got unbelievable energy. And like I say, he's got an eye for goal, so he was in the right place at the right time. It was a scruffy one, but we'll take it all day long. Yeah, and
obviously defensively as well, obviously after conceding 9 in the past 2 games, how nice is it to have only let that one in?
Yeah, and listen, Ben, I think that's, you know, the Stockton game didn't feel like a 4-0 defeat at all. They had unbelievable quality, and the goals that they scored 3 fantastic goals from outside of the area. And I think when we concede the 2 goals in the first half that we do against Pontefract, you're trying to chase the game at home to make something of it, and we capitulated in all honesty. So I trust us with what we've got at the back, and I think Willow's settled in unbelievably well now. We've made sure that him and Jack partner with each other in everything that we do, in training and the way that we train, so they're getting used to each other. His energy is very, very good. So again, you know, we feel comfortable that we can sit in and play out from the back, and then if Hitchy has to go, you know, we can get ourselves up the pitch as well. So yeah, I liked the way we set up today, and like I say, coming up here a long way to a team that were 5 on the bounce is a great point.
Well, if you look at how far we come as well, obviously it's 3-0 at home in the FA Cup now.
Yeah. And there was a different team. You know, there was a number of lads in that 11 that I didn't recognise from when we played them in the Cup, and they're a good team. They pass the ball around well. But I think we nullified it. Their 11 is difficult, is quick, you know, so that's their game plan, to try and play around the outsides to that lad. But you know, Ben Lewis has been phenomenal in nullifying that today. So yeah, I'm really happy with him, Ben. Really happy.
I think it's a good time to ask this. We're sort of about 20 games into obviously your term in management. How would you assess sort of the start you've had at the club?
We've got to be happy with league position. You know, from where the boys were last season, it was a relegation scrap from day one because they lost so many games on the bounce. So we've got ourselves into a good position, you know, a third of the way through the season, that we're in and around that fight for a last couple of playoff spots. You know, the league's wide open. I've been saying it for weeks. You know, you've got teams in the bottom 3 and 4 that are beating second in the league. You know, you've had Shildon that have beaten Cleethorpes today. It was either Lincoln or Grimsby Borough that have beaten Eben. So points on the road like this are important. We need to go on a run of games now. You know, today's result, but more importantly performance, shows that we can do it against the best in this league. You know, these boys was in the playoffs last year, so we know we can compete. So for me, you know, I'm comfortable where we're at, but on the flip side of it, I still don't think we've been amazing. I don't think we've played our best 11 week on week because we haven't been able to for injuries. So if we can get into that type of run where we know we're playing our best players and we're playing our best football, we can be up there. I know we can be up there from how open the league is. But listen, progress is progress. I think we're progressing from last year every week. We've had a little blip, you know, we've lost a couple on the bounce, and we've stabilised ourselves again today.
Yeah. You touched on injuries there. Just a quick update on. I know Eddie Rogerson featured against Brighouse, but he hasn't featured since.
Eddie's struggling majorly. He's had a couple off and then tried to train again. Tried to train and it's not right. You know, so Eddie needs to have a scan on his knee because he's got some major issue in there. We had Denny training on Tuesday. He can straight line run, but you know, any impact on the ball is difficult. So you know, Denny's probably 3 or 4 weeks away. So we've got to have a look at that as well because of the amount of effort that the likes of Jake are putting in up top. We need something more to support them. But with Joey coming back from injury, you know, that's a good one for us. So listen, we've got a squad. We've got Harvey Carew that's out on loan at Brig and playing well. We've got Harry Webster that's out at Bottisford and playing well. So we've got depth, and these boys train with us week in, week out, even though they're not featuring in our squads at the moment. So that's great from our point of view that they're happy to be around and we can call on them when we need them. But yeah, I'm comfortable and confident with what we've got in the camp at the minute.
So obviously we're back at home next Saturday. What are your thoughts going into that one?
Don't know an awful lot about them at the moment. We've got to have some conversations with some of our links up here about them, and we'll look at the results and watch some footage. But looking after ourselves, if we play anything like today, you know, we'll definitely be competitive.
Yeah, right. Thanks for that, Mike. Obviously, as ever, please share the clip. That's the most important thing. 1% of our viewers are actually from Vietnam, so Bridtown TV is going global. So keep sharing the clips out there. Thanks as ever for joining us after the game, Mike. Bridtown TV, over and out.
Cheers.